We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Jordyn Brooks and Anthony Walker, Miami Dolphins linebackers versus the Rams, and this was definitely, I think, like, out of the, Dolphins linebacker duos, this is the best game of the season for the duo. Brooks played lights out and has just been pretty good all year long. He's had some rough games, but I would say, like, if you graded it as a whole, he's been a pretty good player for them. The other linebacker spot has been pretty rough, with David Long recently getting cut, Walker taking over as the starter. This was Walker's best game of the season, the best performance we've seen from that position from a linebacker yet, so nice to see the duo. Really think it was a big part of why the Dolphins defense was able to play well, because we finally saw a duo at the position like play well together at the exact same time, which is huge. They also added Tyrell Dotson into this group. I feel much better about this group with Dotson in there, but yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if they can keep this up. I think that's a huge part. Brooks was playing like a man on a mission, and Walker just was playing at a much more consistent pace, and he got the interception, did some good things. I think this is a good play to start with because we get to see them both just like win on their blocks. Like, great job. Brooks was so good at this game at avoiding blocks. He's playing as like the middle linebacker right here. Head up over the center. Center climbs up immediately to the second level, and Brooks just does a great job dipping underneath of it. Block avoidance, really, really good. Is able to get into the backfield, fill into this gap, and help make that tackle on Kyren Williams. Anthony Walker, similar position, does a good job, but takes on the tight end here at the point of attack. Knocks him back, gets control of that outside leverage, able to peel off of it. Would have been there to also make that tackle. But just really high-level work by Brooks. He was playing like a man on a mission, especially versus the run. And they kind of just... Now here you get to see Walker, the next good run play. He avoids the center as well. Like, a good job recognizing what's going on here. Working through the trash. He stays square. He stays patient. He shows a good base, active feet. He's able to just slip underneath it right there. And even though the guy gets hands on him, he's able to avoid it for the most part and not get washed out of the way. And then makes a tackle, only for a limited gain there on the running back. So just good work versus the run in this game. I also think they were pretty solid in coverage, not allowing too much down the field. Like, here was the interception for Walker, but she gets a little lucky that it was tipped, but like pretty good rep across the board when you are kind of looking at Brooks is over here just playing man-to-man on the running back, but he's carrying the tight end down the field, and now once he carries him far enough, like he squeezes, takes away, an easy throw, but once he can pass this off to Javon Holland, he peels off of it. This is man match, by the way, so basically what man match is you are man-to-man on your guy unless he works to a certain part of the field and you can pass it off. So once number 3 works straight up over the middle, and he's going to go to where Holland is robbing, Walker does exactly what he's supposed to do here. He carries him far enough, and then pass it off to Holland, who now becomes man-to-man on him, and you basically replace Holland, and you become the middle of the field. He becomes the rat now. And then the ball gets tipped to the line, and he's in the perfect position to get an interception. And you just look around, everything is just covered up pretty nicely there. Nice to see the whole defensive unit working. I love seeing man-match concepts run well. I feel like Dolphins seen it a few times. That was the cleanest it's been ran, I think, so far this season for them. Then we get Brooks blitzing. Brooks has been a phenomenal blitzer this year. He's been great at getting after the quarterback. Gets a QB hit on, or gets, pressure on Stafford, forced the check down. We also get to see Walker working down the field. I feel like he's just more comfortable. He's not a great coverage linebacker, but I feel like he's just more comfortable when he gets to open up his hips and get down the field than David Long was. And that's never been David Long's strength. The biggest problem with Long this season is he just wasn't good versus the run either, you couldn't justify keeping him on the field if he wasn't doing his usual good work versus the run. But yeah, overall, pretty solid rep here from Walker. He gets to be involved in this tackle, takes on this tackle who's uncovered, gets up to the second level on him pretty cleanly. He's able to take him on, use his hands, able to shed off of it late. He stays square, under control, takes on Kyren Williams. He gets about 3 or 4 in the play. And then I think Deshaun Hand, but Walker's also there to help force that fumble, which ended up being a big turnover in the game. But nice to see, that kind of going on. And then also just communication. Here you get to see play action and then boot to the left. And Brooks is communicating to pass this off. Walker identifies it. I feel like this has been plays where they've gotten gashed this season, where the linebacker gets sucked down. and this gets open behind him, but Walker feels it the whole way, is just in a good spot. That's never really an option for him to go to, and Stafford has to throw it to a different option down the field, which ends up, I think, being incomplete there, actually, even though it looks like it's going to be completed. I think Fuller knocks it out. But yeah, just like good work overall. They were willing to take on blocks the whole game. This is like the biggest thing, is they were squaring up off in the line. Even though like this gets constricted here, it's good play by the D lineman, but Walker's also very willing to take on this tackle at the point of attack and just help constrict that run lane, limit these gains. Brooks doesn't get involved because of where the play goes, but just another example of him. Look at him dip and rip under that center. Like his reps of avoiding the block in the center of this game were elite. Like look at the bend, look at his base here, look at like the knee bend, the flexion in his ankles, and then dip underneath. You can just see like how athletic Brooks is in those scenarios. And then both of them just like kind of were getting after it as blitzers here. They show blitz. Brooks ends up actually dropping. Walker actually looks like he's going to be the crash guy, but look how hard he crashes down. Love this rep from Walker. He gets so low, takes 72 out of the way. He attacks the low hip. He absolutely just destroys the lineman. Forces Stafford to potentially get the ball out quick because he's feeling the pressure, and then he misses that throw. But this looks like the most explosive rep I've seen out of Walker yet. He crashes, gets hand to loop around. Hand just slips a little bit there, but he gets one-on-one with the running back, and Walker would have had a clean shot on the quarterback if the ball didn't come out quick, but it was third down, incomplete anyways. Just a lot of nice things to see. They also looked pretty good. I think just zone dropping, taking away the middle of the field, like hook drops. They got pressure up front. It forced just a lot of underneath stuff down into the flats. And then they came down and rallied pretty nicely. But like here, they just like they show, this is a big part of this, is they're showing pressure on the middle. They're both mugging the A gap. So like he's in this A gap, Walker's in this A gap, and they're both showing potential pressure. Usually one would come, but they both drop. They still work a stunt, which then gets, I believe, Tyus Bowser free. And they both get to drop. It's a 2x2. They both look. Brooks is peeking this side. He's seeing two work out, and then one potentially just understanding route concepts. Brooks knows to flow into this space that, like, this receiver could very likely work into this window. He goes, and Brooks floats to take away where Stafford was looking at. Walker also in a similar position. He's looking over to this side. Now gets eyes back to the quarterback, reading his eyes. Knows just based on where they were aligned pre-snap, they could easily work into him, and he's close enough to squeeze, help take away that dig, and then they chuck it underneath. He ends up like running out of bounds, but just good work across the board. This is a play where Chop instantly penetrates, and then just look at Brooks, Walker, boom, avoid blocks, too quick to the point of attack. 72 tries to get off of it. Brooks is too quick. Look at him explode. Look at this explosion from like barely moving to exploding off that foot to get to him. So impressive. And then Walker also avoids 70 out in space. The Rams O-line was really bad in this game, so hopefully they can continue it versus better opponents, but like they were rallying to the ball, making good plays. You can see this fumbled snap happens, and just look at Brooks, man. Brooks on the outside, look at him like dip under this. Like look how explosive you have to be. From aligning basically as an edge here, they get lucky that the snap's fumbled, but like look how low he is. Look at that dip. Like he reduces his surface area, so this lineman has no chance to get hands on him. And for him to be that low, stay on his feet, and explode uphill to get at Stafford instantly. Like look at the explosiveness. Brooks was playing out of his mind in this game. Just insane stuff. Another rep of it. This time he just gets one-on-one with the center because he's like mugging the A gap. Center actually cuts him off pretty quickly. Look at him strain through this dip underneath, able to make a play on the backside to slow that down, and then the D linemen are able to get the work to him. But Brooks ends up slowing this play down, just constantly getting involved, making good plays, beating blocks one-on-one with linemen. Walker was playing man-to-man on a tight end multiple times in this game. Not the best, tight end in the world, but like Walker was staying in the hip pocket and not really getting beat, which I think is a huge development. Having linebackers that can potentially cover like at least below average tight ends is a good sign. Like usually they would not even allow that. This play I wanted to show because it wasn't Walker's best rep. I think he tries to shoot downhill. He actually goes kind of what David Long likes to do. He needs to stay a little more patient here and continue to work laterally, stay in phase with the running back, so then he could scrape potentially over the top if he wanted to bounce to the outside. But look at Brooks here, because Brooks also kind of goes underneath this block. So he avoids this block, But look at Brooks make this adjustment, and look at this range, man. This sideline range is insane. Look at him close this ground and track down Kyron. And that, like, this game looked like, if you look how it's blocked up, like right here, when Kyron's hitting through this hole, this looks like it should be like, a much bigger game, but it only ends up getting like 4 or 5 on the play from how it was blocked up initially. Just an insane play there from Brooks. This was a play where Walker got isolated on Cooper Kupp, and they didn't end up scoring a touchdown. Walker's actually not in too bad of a spot there. Like, obviously, he knows he's going to have help to the other side, but it'd have to be a really perfect throw to get it between these two defenders. Just a lot of good things, I think, overall within this game from both Jordyn Brooks, Anthony Walker. I've been really impressed, I think, for most games with Brooks. I think Brooks struggled last week versus Buffalo, but other than that, like, he's been very good throughout the season. Definitely great to see Walker have a good game, and then I think the pickup of Tyrell Dotson just makes you feel better about that linebacker unit, and hopefully the defense can continue this. They get the Raiders, which is a good matchup to continue that momentum. Should be pretty fun to see if they can actually play some complementary football across the board. Dolphins are not in a great spot, but they're not in the worst spot. There's still some hope left. It's like a 22-23% chance to make the playoffs, which honestly is better than I thought it would be. So if you guys are doing, just like, comment,